Hey guys, what's up? Elders at TopTradingReviews.com, 24th of August 2019. Let's get started. So today we're doing a video on a binary options trading strategy. You can use it on 1 minute time frame trading, 5 minute, an hour, daily, whatever you want. Honestly, it really depends on the circumstances or the level of risk you're willing to take. So I'm gonna show you that. So let's start with a 1 minute time frame, EMA 10 over here, EMA 17. So this is a crossover strategy you want, or whatever you want to call it. Let's have a look at RSI 5. We can change it to maybe RSI 8. It's a little bit better. So basically what we're looking for is the crossover. So basically the 10 EMA, let's say over here, the purple line, and this is the 17 EMA, the green line. So what we're looking for is basically a crossover. So let's have a look at some examples over here. Since the markets are closed and it is Saturday, I can't really trade and show you guys, but I think it's going to be useful information for you guys to learn. So basically what we're looking for is this crossover. This is the crossover. That's what we like to find. So imagine if the charts were ready and we wouldn't see half of this screen. We would see only this candle over here because obviously indicators lag a little bit. So we would see this candle and we would see a line kind of forming and kind of the purple line striking through the green line to the downwards direction. We would also look over here and we would see that the RSI indicator is telling us it's going to be oversold soon, but don't worry about that, because usually when a trend happens or a push like that happens, it's going to be like oversold for a couple of hours to a couple of minutes, depending on which time frame you're gonna do it. As you can see, it was oversold, and within 5 minutes time, it started to bounce back over here. But because this is a minute time frame and you're trading on binary options, probably that's enough, because they have 1 minute trading, 5 minute trading, and within those 5 minutes or 1 minute, if you entered the trade, you would have been profitable because you would have selected a sell trade. It would have went down over here. You would probably enter the trade somewhere around this level, and it would have went down and you would have profited. Let's just have a look how much you would have profited in regards to Forex trading. Pip wise, you would have profited 5 pips, which is not a lot. That's why in Forex trading I recommend to not trade 1 minute trading at all. Very unpredictable. That's why only you should trade 1 minute trading or 5 minute trading in binary options. In regards to Forex trading, you can use the same strategy. Let's have a look at 1 hourly. 1 hourly in Forex is the minimum I would go for. So let's just have a look what's happening over here. The perfect example what I'm looking for is over here on the Euro USD 1 hourly time frame. As you can see over here, the crossover has happened, and also the RSI is saying it's going to be overbought, which is good. That's what we want. Obviously the RSI tool is more of a support and resistance tool. I understand that, but I use it to confirm trades, so you can do the same. Anyway, once the crossover happens, it's probably going to be within this candle you're going to enter the trade, and let's imagine we enter our long position over here, and this is where we would enter the trade. So it would first obviously go down. As you can see, it went down till this level over here, but since we would have a stop loss of at least 30 pips or above, we would never get stopped out. You would let the markets to move around, and look what's happening. They move around, they nearly touch the stop loss, but they don't. Your trade carries on and it starts profiting, and as you can see, we would have reached our take profit within 4 to 5 days time. So having a look at some other crossover examples, we can use the GBP USD pair for the 5 minute time frame, and as you can see over here, there's a ton of examples you can do, and this is real life charts. There's nothing manipulated. You can use this strategy and trade Forex on Monday, so if you really want, you can do it. It's a good strategy, good old strategy. So let's have a look over here. So the purple line over here, as you can see, crosses. So once it crosses, the indicator is gonna lag a little bit, and it's probably going to be this candle we enter our trade on, because we want to see that cross, and what's gonna happen is it's a long position, and we're gonna probably enter somewhere here. And as you can see over here, our stop loss is 11 pips. But if you trade in binary option, that doesn't matter for you guys. You would be just like winning, and if it would be like a 5 minute or 1 minute trade, it would have been in the money because of that crossover. You would get confirmation of that crossover, then you would enter a 5 minute trade and you would be in the money. If you trade in time frames that are like 5 minutes, you know, all these candles are 5 minutes, you want to trade on binary options as well in 5-minute time frames. This is because if you're trading hourly time frames, let's say all these candles, like one candle is worth 1 hour, and you're trading for 5 minutes only, you're intending to be on the market for 5 minutes, it's not going to be accurate for you, and you're going to be losing a lot of trades. I can assure you on that. There's a ton of EMA crossovers happening on the GBP USD pair. As you can see, it crossed over here, start going up, and look, it would have been up for the past, you know, couple of an hour. So if you're trading binary options, you know, and you would be like them win or lose, you know, you don't have any stop loss levels or whatnot, it would be ideal. You see this little breakout to the upwards direction, obviously with the crossover. You confirm it with RSI, you know, if you really want to trade lower time frames, maybe even do length of 5. This will show it like oversold and overbought levels a little bit better, and you can, you know, place this a long trade, and this would have been a nice long trade. You would have won 1 you carry on winning, you know, most of the time. Obviously some of these candles are gonna go down, but if you trade in 5-minute charts, sometimes you can, you know, double up as well, you know, especially if you trade in binary options. I don't really trade binary options, I only trade Forex, but when I used to trade binary options, what I used to do, if I'm trading, you know, $10 or 10 euros or something, and I lose my next trade, you know, I do 20, I kind of martingale a little bit. Obviously, this strategy is not foolproof, but you have to have some balls, you know, you have to have balls of steel, and then it's gonna work out for you. I can assure you that. I profited in binary options at least 10 grand, you know, using these strategies, by the way. So it's foolproof, you know, it's foolproof, but you have to just money manage yourself and have a little bit of balls of steel, because if you're scared or you don't follow your plan, you're gonna be a loser. That's what happens, you know, in trading. People get too emotional. You have to stick with the plan. So let's have a look at some other examples. Maybe let's have a look at some of the pairs. GBP, AUD USD, sorry. So let's have a look at AUD USD. As you can see, a crossover has happened. It was going down, you know, this is the crossover, it was going down, so you could have entered a short trade. As you can see over here, it was going up, then it started going down. You would have entered on this candle over here because of the crossover. The indicators lag a little bit, so the crossover would have been shown probably on this candle I'm showing, and you would have ended a short trade, which in result would have made you a lot of money. And you can apply this in the Forex trading as well. You can do, you know, the same thing. You would have entered the trade, let's say this candle over here, because it would have been lagging. Look at your take profit, you know. If you would have entered a couple of trades maybe on this zone, you know, so you could have extended your stop loss and take profit levels as well. What I mean by that is sometimes place one trade and have a take profit somewhere, you know, maybe 10 pips, and then have a second trade running for 20 pips and the stop loss level the same. Once the first trade closes in the money, get the second trade stop loss going to around here. This means it's gonna be break even, you know, so your second trade is risk free. Even if you lose that trade, you don't lose anything, because it's gonna be break even. You know, you already made your money from the first trade, and you have potential to make even more money on the second trade. I hope you understand that, because English is not my national language, unfortunately, but I am trying to explain things as much as I can. And yeah, let's have a look at some other examples. You can do the same over here. As you can see, it started to go down. Once a push has happened, you know, RSI is showing us, oh, it's getting overbought, you know, and obviously overbought and oversold tools are usually supporting resistance wise, but I use RSI for confirmation because trends do happen. And let's have a look over here. So this crossover would have made us, you know, money as well in Forex or in binary. To be fair, in binary you would have entered this trade somewhere around here. The crossover would have been here, and the next trade you would have placed, it would have been in the money. Because this is a 5-minute binary option strategy, you would have made your money. You would have entered the 5-minute, you know, trade, and you would have let it close in 5 minutes, and it would have been profitable. If you trade in Forex, it would be literally the same thing, but you would have to just set your take profit levels and stop loss levels to whichever place you want. You can do over here literally 10 pips, and you would put probably 10 pips as well, because you don't want your stop loss level to be very low because of the spread difference in the brokers. But it would be literally the same thing, and yeah, you would have been profitable. And you could have done this, you know, a couple of times, you know, even if you martingale and you would have lost the next three, you know, the fourth trade you would have made money. And this is how you trade binary options. It's a little little bit different because you can martingale a little bit. In Forex, you can't really do that because there's different spread differences. There's all sorts of charges and all sorts of swap rates that you don't even know about, and which could, you know, mess up your martingale experience. That's why trading with binary options is very simplified. That's why I sometimes like it. I used to like trading on IQ option, but since it had some negative reviews, I kind of stopped. There's other better alternatives. Anyway, let's have a look at other crossovers. As you can see, this is AUD USD. Look at this trade, you know, this crossover. Look at this. This would have been a beauty. If you trade in binary options, it would have been amazing. You would have entered the trade over here where I'm showing with the mouse. The RSI is saying it's gonna be overbought, and it has been, you know. 5-minute trading. Look, 1 candle, 2 candle, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You would have won 8 times already if you kept on, you know, placing trades on the AUD USD on this time, you know, and you would have kept making trades. Then you would have lost one, then you would have won a couple of more. If you're martingale, you would never lost money at all. I don't suggest martingale like crazy. You need to have a strategy, but once you do, trust me, you can definitely make money. That's how I made 10 grand on binary options. That's the only solid way to trade, you know, IQ option or binary options, I should say. Literally trading by martingale method, because, or if you're doing Forex, you can literally do the same thing, you know. The take profit level over here, look, a crossover happened, you would have entered the trade over here, look, boom, you know, 20 pips, you know, 10 pips. Obviously on Forex, you wouldn't really trade 5-minute charts, you know, you would have traded like an hourly chart or something, which would have potentially made you like 50 to 60 pips to 70 pips, which is a lot of money, you know. And if you have a couple of these trades, you know, at least winning 70%, you know, even 65% is good, you know. You're still making money, you're not stressing about, you have a plan, you know, and that's the way you trade, guys. Having a look at some other examples, like on the Euro GBP, as you can see, a crossover happened. Look, RSI is saying it's overbought. You would have entered the trade over to this candle over here, obviously, because the indicators lag a little bit. It would have consolidated a little bit, but especially if you trade in Forex, you would have been killing it, you know. Look how much the markets, you know, moved. It moved quite a bit, you know, and you would have profited a lot, you know. On binary option as well, you would have made money, especially if you're martingaling a little bit. You would have definitely killed it and made money. Obviously, this strategy is like not foolproof. Sometimes, you know, this happens when a crossover happens, you know, and you can't really make money. As you can see, like a crossover has happened over here. Let me just zoom in. As you can see, the purple line crossed over to the down direction. However, it, you know, made a little bit of profit, but not enough profit as we want. So we would have entered another trade to the long position, obviously buying position. As you can see from this crossover, RSI is telling us is overbought yet again, and we would have made a lot of money on binary option or Forex, whatever you would trade in, you know, especially if you're martingaling a little bit on binary option. Look, your first trade would have won, second 2 trades lost, then the first trade won, you know, and you would have kept winning most of the time, you know. It's like 70% of the time. And if you're martingaling, you never lose money. Trust me, you just need a strategy to martingale. It works. It definitely works. I don't even want to see comments that telling me, you know, it's risky. It is risky, but everything's risky. And if you don't have a plan in Forex or in binary options, you're gonna lose money anyway. So you rather just martingale and make money. I made 10 grand, you know, so if you haven't, you should try that. Not all trades will be successful. However, as I said, if you martingale a little bit in binary options, you're gonna be killing it. And if you're new to Forex trading, you know, it's still good, you know. You're still gonna be profiting a little bit. If you know, trading Forex, let's say, you're probably gonna be trading 1 hourly, 4 hourly, or even daily. So let's say we would have been trading on an hourly time frame on Forex. This is what we would do, you know. We would look at the crossover. RSI is overbought, so we enter the trade over here, this level. Let's see, long position over here. Well, obviously would have been, you know, going down, going up. As you can see over here, start to go down, then go up. But this is, you know, how the markets move. They never move like that straight away unless there's massive fundamental news. Usually it's like, you know, V patterns basically. And what happens is we would have entered this trade. Look, it's hourly. Obviously it's 27 pips already. If you know, we look at the take profit over here, 73 pips. And look, and we could have entered this massive long position over here. Look, it even lasts till here, you know. You could have made 100 pips, you know, and that's a lot of money. You could have made so much money just by using this strategy, you know. You don't even need to, you know, increase your stop loss, you know. I probably personally would have made, you know, 30, you know, stop loss or something, because that's good enough. Maybe even 40 to be just reassured to you're not gonna get kicked out from the market. If some fundamental fundamental news happens, it's gonna kind of, you know, try to reach your stop loss, you know, and kick you out from the market, and then the banks, you know, get all your money and start making profit where the actual trend is going, which is upwards direction. And yeah, you could have made so much money. And even in binary, the same thing, you know, most people in binary options trade, you know, lower time frames. However, you know, some people do trade hourly, you know, or 4 hourly, whatever, you know, they don't have stop loss and take profit, by the way, in binary options. And what happens is they could have literally entered the trade over here as well on the hourly time frame, you know, in the binary options, and basically they would have profited, you know. And even if they wouldn't, if they would martingale the first, you know, loss, they would have won it, you know, they would have won their trades. And that's how you do it, you know. Most of the time, if you look at the fundamental news and there's nothing major happening in the world, you know, if you join a trend, the trend is most likely gonna continue. It's not just randomly gonna start, you know, popping down over here. This the most likely event over here why it started to go down, because of some fundamental news. This is what's caused it. And if it starts, you know, to go in green, and you see like a crossover and RSI is telling you it's overbought, you know, you want to, you know, place this trade. And once you place this trade, you should be good to go, and eventually would start making a lot of money. Obviously the Forex pairs, you know, move down, you know, and then move up a little bit and start going down, nearly reach your take profit or stop loss level, whichever side you're trading. But eventually it starts, you know, going to the overall direction and you start profiting. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a little bit crazy, I know. I'm also sweating bullets because it's super hot outside, so I'm sorry, you know, if I'm, you know, a little bit hyperactive, because it's super hot. I can't even stand heat anymore. I'm all sweaty, you know. But anyway, if you want to join the FX CoinBot, which is a good and profitable trading system I'm currently using, I have a ton of videos in my YouTube channel. Just make sure to subscribe to not miss them. And yeah, take care guys, have a nice day, love you guys, goodbye.